think I just made it worse. Man, I feel like I have not spoken to a camera in a very long time, but I'm getting really tired of telling myself that I'm going to make a video and then I don't do it. Getting tired of a lot of empty promises that I have been telling myself over the past year or so. There are things that I want to do that I know that I can do. I just need to build a level of self-discipline to allow me to get there, and the only way to get there is just by doing it. So that's what I'm doing right now, completely unprepared. Clearly, this is freaking me out, so I'm going to close this. I'm really hoping that that the sound is actually on, because this was attached to my interface, but it is working. Okay, cool. Oh man, so it is August 30th, 2021. We are still in a pandemic, and at this point it feels normal, and it's just life right now, and it's sad, and there's a lot of things going on, a lot of things that we have all been processing, and things that I have been processing that have come up during quarantine, that I'm still processing and still working my way through. It's been an entire paradigm shift in my life, taking more responsibility for the direction of my life, and the amount of control that I have over it. And also the fact that life is just short, or life can be short, to plainly put it. We've lost people that we've cared about during this time, and that has put into perspective for me that every day I should just be grateful to have this body and to live the privileged life that I do, to have a job, to have a family, to have security. And right now, in these particular moments recently, I've been feeling really guilty for not working at my full capacity when I am able-bodied, when I am in the position that many people aren't in. And I wish I didn't feel guilty. It's a weird sensation to feel guilty about feeling guilty. But that is just what I'm working through recently. I want to change my life. I want so much more for myself than I have right now, or that I'm doing right now. I have everything that I need, but I'm not doing everything I can to make this idea of a life that I want for myself a reality. Just recognizing that, coming to terms with that, there's just so much more work that needs to be done. And I don't want you to think that when I say like, oh, there's work to be done, that like I'm just dwelling. That is a habit that I'm trying to break, because it can be so easy to be like, oh, do the work, and then work yourself into such a spiral that you can't see the reality of the situation. And right now, the reality of the situation is that the work that needs to be done by myself is just doing it. I don't know if you followed that sentence. I barely did myself, but I just need to start. I need to start. There was a point in my life back in 2019, early 2019, when I was working on my first single, Bianca. I was working as a barista full time. I had just moved into Midtown Sacramento. That was my first time moving out of my parents' house. I was living my very best life, not being on Instagram for like 8 months. And then I got back on Instagram and then met my partner, and then everything was still great. I was doing amazing, literally just busting my ass every single day, coming home from work and working on my project, and then after like hanging out, after working on my project, then hanging out with the man who would soon become my partner. And, my priorities were straight. Then things happened. Got a little bit knocked off of my equilibrium. Then old habit loops from like when I was like 16 started coming up, like not feeling confident, not feeling good about who I was as a person, not feeling confident in my relationships, not feeling confident in anything. Just everything felt like it was in the air. And I felt scared. I felt scared to I felt scared. I felt overly attached to ideas of myself and ideas of other people, especially my partner, ideas of how things needed to be, and putting a lot of pressure on myself to carry on this image of me that like was, it's not fabricated, but like I can change. I needed to allow myself to change. And that change is difficult, and I'm still learning that to this day. Like, it's never going to be easy. It is never going to be easy to change your mind about things, and to change how you act, especially because it's so routine. But yeah, fast forward to 2020. I was still struggling very deeply with who I was as a person, what my purpose was. I stopped really like making music, feeling confident in that. Like, that really sucked. I didn't know what I wanted. Like, I really just didn't. I had no direction, and I got lost. I got real lost. And then, the pandemic happened. And that, for me personally, was way too much time to be inside alone with my thoughts spiraling completely. It was a fucked up time. Just like it's been fucked. It's been better recently. It has been. I've been doing a lot of work for myself and on myself to not go back to how that felt. But Yeah, it was not an easy year last year. Honestly, I didn't really have that paradigm shift until recently, probably like May, um, where I realized like my anxiety got far out of hand, like way, way, like the most anxious I have been since I was like 16, 17. And because I'm an adult, it manifests differently. And because I'm in a relationship, it manifests differently. So I was just so convinced that the things that I was doing and I was like overthinking myself was like, that was the work. Like, baby, no. That was not the work. That was literally me spiraling. So we are now moving out of that phase into something greater. Right now, I feel like I'm in like the in-between limbo state, kind of like Nine of Wands energy, like finishing a cycle, moving on. But right now, I'm feeling like pretty positive. Like I've been able to bounce back from bouts of anxiety and depression and stress by reminding myself how lucky I am to be alive. I'm sorry. Um, by reminding myself how lucky I am to have the support system that I do, to have the partner that I do, to have the ability to keep going, because not everybody made it. Not everybody made it through last year. Not everybody made it through the past few months. But I did, and I have the privilege of moving forward, and I feel like I have a responsibility to do that. So that's what I want to do. I want to move forward. I want to live for myself. I want to achieve the goals that I have for myself. And I can't do that by doing nothing, you know? So I have some goals for myself that I would like to achieve within the next few years. I'm gonna have an album. It's gonna be an album that is like fully fleshed out with visuals, with, you know, a whole rollout, everything. It's gonna be all of that. The whole story, everything that I want to say for that album, I want to be stated beautifully and to be showcased beautifully. So I'm going to have an album. That's like the main thing that I'm really just like shooting for here. Like I want to be completely immersed in my craft of songwriting, and mixing and mastering. I obviously don't seem very confident about that, and I need to work on that, but I am good at mixing, and I can be great at mastering because it's kind of the same thing but different. Yeah, I want multiple income streams. Mixing and mastering is already one of those ones that I have under my belt, and I want more. I want to be able to do more. And I want to be able to support myself that way. I want to have a stable household. I want to have financial security, not be worried about making rent. Right now, I'm living paycheck to paycheck, And that is by the grace of God. Like, honestly, I was not going to make rent like 2 months ago. Was not going to do it. And then by way of, me connecting with one of my partner's friends, kind of a mutual friend of ours, I got a job and it pays me well. And I'm going to hold on to that job as long as I fucking can so that I can fuel my dream of writing an album and also just living in general, because I have expensive taste and I want to do things like travel. I really want to travel. Me and my partner, we want to go places. I want to go places. Yeah, there's just a lot of stuff, but the main thing is the album, and that's kind of really what I'm wanting to focus these videos on, is like my process with the album. Yeah. I just like, I'm just so done like playing myself. I have to be. There's no other choices, no other options. Because at this point, after this pandemic, I know myself. I know. I will not be happy if I don't write this album, if I don't get it out. That's just facts. I know that about myself. So, whatever the form, whatever follows, me making this album and putting it out, the fact is that I did it. And at the end of the day, I will be proud of myself when I put it out. So, that is where I'm at. I also got my dog right next to me. I don't want to disturb her peace, so I will not pick her up. But, she's my little cutie. My little grandma doggy. Yeah. So, I don't know how often I'm going to make these videos, but I wanted to just throw that out there. I felt a little bit inspired today, I guess, to say something, to do something, because I came across, I was reminded of my old videos, and those were fun. Those were fun days. I was like, how old was I when I was making those videos? Like 19, and I'm like 25 now. So a lot of things have changed. I'm just a completely different person. So it'll be interesting to like have these videos up and be able to like reference back that. But yeah, anyways, I just got so off track. I was really inspired because I saw some of my videos from today, and then I also watched my music video with my coworkers, which was funny and awkward at times, but it's nice that they're supportive. And yeah, I'm getting rambly, so I'm just gonna cut it off here, but I'm really looking forward to being able to consistently have something to show and work towards releasing everything that I've been building up for the past several years. So, yeah. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.